Hello dear students, I welcome you all once again. Today I'll be discussing the topic morphology and diversity of two commercially important softwood species, pine that is genus Pinus and Deodar that is Cedrus Deodara. The contents of my presentation are morphology of pines, some important species of pines, introduction to Deodar cedar, morphology of Deodar cedar and uses of Deodar cedar wood. Let's get started. Dear students, as you already know that softwoods are vital to the numerous industries due to their lightweight, flexible and versatile nature. They play a pivotal role in construction, furniture making, paper production and even in the manufacture of musical instruments and various everyday items. Pines, with their extensive variety and adaptability, are among the most widely used recognized sources of softwood globally. Their straight-grained timber is highly valued for its ease of use and strength, making it indispensable in the construction industry. Additionally, the aromatic resins and oils derived from pines have significant applications in the chemical industry. On the other hand, the majestic Deodar, often referred to as tree of the gods, in its native regions is renowned for its durable and aromatic wood. The Deodar cedar is not only prized for its resistance to decay and insects, but also holds cultural and spiritual significance in many societies. Its wood is extensively used in construction, especially in regions where durability and resilience are paramount. In this lecture, we'll explore the detailed morphology of these remarkable trees, examining their structure from roots to needles. We will also delve into their diversity, highlighting the various species within these genera. Let us start with the morphology of pines. A pine is any conifer tree or shrub in the genus Pinus and the family Pinaceae. Pine trees or evergreen, coniferous resinous trees or rarely shrubs growing 3 to 80 meters tall, with the majority of the species reaching 15 to 45 meters height. The spiral growth of bracts, needles and cone scales are arranged in Fibonacci number ratios. Shoots and bracts. The new spring shoots are sometimes called candles. They are covered in brown or whitish bud scales and point upwards at first, then later turn green and spread outwards. The bark of most of the pines is thick and scaly, but some species have thin and flaky bark. The bracts are produced in regular pseudo whorls, actually a very tight spiral, but appearing like a ring of bracts arising from the same point. Let's now know about the foliage of pines in detail. Pines have 4 types of leaves named as seed leaves, juvenile leaves, scale leaves and needles. Seed leaves or cotyledons are present on seedlings and are born in the whorl of 4 to 24. Juvenile leaves are leaves which follow immediately on seedlings and young plants and are 2 to 6 centimeter long, single, green or often blue-green and arranged spirally on the shoot. These are produced for 6 months to 5 years, rarely longer than this. Scale leaves are similar to bud scales and are small, brown and non-photosynthetic leaves that are arranged spirally like the juvenile leaves. Lastly comes needles. These adult leaves are green, photosynthetic and bundled in clusters called fascicles. The needles can number from 1 to 7 per fascicle, but generally number from 2 to 5. Each fascicle is produced from a small bud on a dwarf shoot in the axil of a scale leaf. These bud scales often remain on the fascicle as a basal sheath. The needles persist for 1.5 to 40 years depending on species. If a shoot's growing tip is damaged, for example eaten by animal, the needle fascicle just below the damage will generate a stem producing bud which can then replace the lost tip. Pines are monoecious, having the male and female cones on the same tree. The male cones are small, typically 1 to 5 cm long, and only present for a short period, usually in spring, falling as soon as they have shed their pollen. The female cones take 1.5 to 3 years depending on species to mature after pollination, with actual fertilization delayed 1 year. At maturity, the female cones are 3 to 60 cm long. Each cone has numerous spirally arranged scales with 2 seeds on each fertile scale. The scales at the base and tip of the cones are small and sterile, that is without seeds. The seeds are mostly small and winged and are anemophilous, that is wind dispersed. But some are large and have only a vestigial wing and are bird dispersed. Talking about the roots of pines, pines typically develop a strong and deep taproot that anchors the tree securely into the soil. The taproot is the primary root that emerges from the seedling and grows downwards. Let's now know about wood of pines in lumber and construction. Pines are softwoods, but commercially they may be designated as soft pines or hard pines. Soft pines such as white pines, sugar pines and pinyon pines have relatively soft timber, needles in bundles of 5, less commonly 1 to 4, stalked cones with scales lacking prickles and little resin. Their wood is close-grained with thin and nearly white sapwood. The sheaths of the leaf clusters are deciduous and the leaves contain a single fibrovascular bundle. On the other hand, hard pines such as Scotch, Corsican and loblolly pines have relatively harder timber. Needles in bundles of 2 or 3, rarely 5 to 8. Cone scales with prickles and large amounts of resin. Their wood is coarse-grained and usually dark-colored with pale and often thick sapwood. The sheaths of the leaf clusters are persistent and the leaves have 2 fibrovascular bundles. Pines are among the most commercially important tree species valued for their timber and wood pulp throughout the world. In temperate and tropical regions, they are fast-growing softwoods that grow in the relatively dense stands. Commercial pines are grown in plantations for timber that is denser and therefore more durable. Pine wood is widely used in high-value carpentry items such as furniture, window frames, paneling, floors and roofing, and the resin of some species is an important source of turpentine. Let's now know about some pine species. Let's start with major Eurasian pines. First in this list is Scotch pine. The Scotch pine, also known as Pinus sylvestris, grows in northern Europe. When grown under optimal conditions, attains a height of 20 to 40 meters. It is conical in youth and acquires a mushroom-shaped crown at maturity and has a straight trunk as much as 1 meter in diameter. It has fiery red-brown bark and gnarled twisted boughs densely clothed with blue-green foliage at the extremities. Scotch pine occurs in varying abundance from Finland and Sweden to the mountains of Spain and higher slopes of Mount Etna, and longitudinally from shores of North Sea to Siberia. Economically, it is valued for timber and also for turpentine and tar. Another pine is Italian stone pines, also known as umbrella pines or Pinus pinea. These are native to the Mediterranean region. They are spreading rounded canopies of light green foliage supported on a tall and often branchless trunk forms a particularly striking feature of the landscape of Italy. The cones have been prized from the days of ancient Rome for their edible seeds known as pignoli, which are still used for food. Now comes the Himalayan white pine, also known as blue pine or Pinus welchiana. It differs from the Italian stone pine in its longer cones and drooping glaucous foliage. It grows in the parts of India, Bhutan, and on some ranges of Nepal where it attains large dimensions. Last in this list is the Eurasian stone pine, also known as Pinus sembra. It abounds on the Alps, the Carpathians, and the Siberian mountain ranges. The oily seeds are eaten by the inhabitants of the Alps and Siberia and yield a fine oil used for food. The wood is remarkably even-grained and is used by Swiss wood carvers. Now, let us know about some major North American pines. First in this list is the eastern white pine. The eastern white pine or Pinus strobus is one of the most valuable of North American timber trees because of its large size and soft even grain of its white wood. It once formed extensive forests from Newfoundland to Manitoba, from Minnesota to Maine, and southward to the mountains of Georgia. But it was cut intensively for so long that by the second half of 20th century, very few old trees remained. On deep, rich soil, eastern white pine can attain a height of 60 meters and a trunk diameter of 1 to 1.5 meters. White pine is soft and easy to work with and paint, making it very versatile for building projects. It can be used for everything from making packing boxes to building strong structures and adding fine finishes in homes. Because it is lightweight, it is easy to transport and it has been widely used on farms in the West for building houses, barns and corn storage. As a fencing material, it is excellent. Although it isn't suitable for uses that need very strong and dense wood like shipbuilding or wagon making, white pine is perfect for most other types of lumber needs, including making simple furniture. Another pine in this list is the sugar pine. The sugar pine or Pinus lambertiana of California is the largest known pine, often 60 to 70 meters tall with a trunk diameter of 2 or even 3.5 meters. Its crown is pyramidal with horizontal or slightly drooping branches. Its cones are longest of any pine species, reaching up to 61 centimeters in length. Now comes the pinon pine. It grows in southwestern North America, especially in New Mexico. The trees yield edible nuts, which are staple food of Native Americans and widely eaten as snack and as an ingredient in New Mexican cuisine. The pinon nut or seed is high in fat and calories. Pinon wood, especially when burned, has a distinctive fragrance, making it a common wood to burn in chimneys. Pinon pine trees are also known to influence the soil in which they grow by increasing concentrations of both macronutrients and micronutrients. Now, let us discuss the last pine in this list, Monterey pine. The Monterey pine or Pinus radiata is native to small area in California and Mexico. The plant is extensively cultivated for timber throughout the world. The beautiful Monterey pine is distinguished by the brilliant color of its foliage and is found sparingly along the California coast and is one of the most widely grown timber pines in the world. Dear students, let's now move to another section of this lecture where we will discuss another softwood tree, true cedars. True cedars or Cedrus species belong to Cedrus genus and are part of the Pinaceae family. They include the cedar of Lebanon, the Atlas cedar and Deodar cedar. These cedars are known for their aromatic wood and fine-grained timber. False cedars, on the other hand, typically refer to other coniferous trees that are not part of the Cedrus genus but may resemble true cedars in some ways. For example, trees like eastern red cedar. Let us start by discussing some true cedars. Atlas cedar or Cedrus atlantica. The Atlas cedar or Cedrus atlantica is native to Atlas mountains of Morocco and Algeria. Its beautiful silvery blue needles and majestic growth make it an excellent choice for landscaping and as an ornamental tree. The wood of the Atlas cedar is highly prized and the species has historical significance, having been used for construction in ancient times. It symbolizes strength, endurance in its native region and has become a beloved tree in various parts of the world. Next is cedar of Lebanon or Cedrus libani. The cedar of Lebanon or Cedrus libani is an iconic cedar species associated with great historical and cultural significance. Its strong and durable wood has been used in the construction of ancient temples, ships and various other structures. Even today, the cedar of Lebanon stands as a symbol of national pride, strength and resilience, highlighting its enduring cultural and ecological importance. One of the true cedars that we will discuss in detail in this lecture is Cedrus Deodara. The name Deodar is derived from the Sanskrit words Diva meaning divine and Daru meaning wood, emphasizing the sacred and valuable nature of this tree. Cedrus deodara, commonly known as Deodar cedar, is a species of coniferous trees native to the western Himalayas. It is highly valued for its timber and is widely cultivated for its ornamental beauty. Deodar cedars are known for their distinctive phenology. They are evergreen conifers, which means they retain their needles or leaves throughout the year. In spring, they produce new growth in the form of bright green needles and cones. Cone production typically occurs in late summer or early autumn. The trees may experience some shedding of older leaves, but they do not undergo a complete leaf drop. Cedrus deodara is native to western Himalayas, where it thrives in the mountain regions. These trees are adapted to cold climates and are often found at higher elevations. They are well suited to the temperate and subalpine climates. Cedrus deodara occurs on moderate to precipitous slopes, generally dominating cool northern slopes where it usually forms pure crops of considerable extent. It is typically a gregarious tree, a light demander, frequently found in the form of pure stands. It tolerates drought at advanced age but not at seedling stage. The trees are also resistant to atmospheric pollution. Deodar cedars are often used in landscaping and as ornamental trees in parks and gardens due to their attractive pyramid-shaped growth and aromatic wood. It is native to the Himalayan region, specifically in countries like India, Pakistan and Afghanistan. It can be found at elevations ranging from 3,500 to 12,000 feet. It is typically found in temperate forests but can span across a range of biomes. Historically, the cedar can be found living among other conifer and broadleaf tree species. They help to make up the coniferous belt in their native habitats high on the mountainside that spans from India to China. They have been planted throughout the west coast and southern states of US, across Argentina, Canada, China, France, Germany, Italy and Spain. Now, let us discuss the morphology of Cedrus deodara. It's a large evergreen coniferous tree 40 to 50 meters tall, exceptionally 60 meters, with a trunk up to 3 meters in diameter. It has a conic crown with level branches and drooping branchlets. The Deodar cedar is identified by its flat top at maturity, widespread swooping branches, blue-green needles, grey scaly bark and small cones. Deodar cedars are pyramidal when young due to their pointed top. These evergreen conifers mature to have broad, swooping, horizontal branches with flat tops. Branches can spread from 10 to 15 feet outwards from the trunk. This medium-growing tree can grow to be 20 to 50 feet tall. Trees in their native habitat have been known to grow to be 250 feet tall. These trees can grow up to 3 feet a year. Another in this list is leaves. The leaves of Cedrus deodara are blue-green to greyish-green. They are needle-shaped and are fine to the touch. They grow in spiraling clusters on drooping branchlets. Needles range from 1 to 2 inches long. Needles can stay on the tree for 3 to 6 years before being replaced by new growth. Moving to twigs and bark. Twigs are thin and straight. Trunks are covered with a dark grey bark that becomes fissured or scaly as the tree ages. Mature trees have been known to have thick trunks measuring 3 meters in diameter. Now, let us discuss about their cones. The deodar is monoecious since it has both male and female cones that grow on the same tree. The male cones are 4 to 6 cm long. They are known as catkins and are typically located in the lower branches of the tree. They give off large amounts of pollen in the fall. The female cones are barrel-shaped, 7 to 13 cm long and 5 to 9 cm broad. They disintegrate when mature, usually in 12 months, to release the winged seeds. Female cones grow at the tips of upper branches of the tree. They are pollinated by wind that blows pollen from catkins to the female cones. Pollinated female cones grow in spring and summer. In the fall, the growing green cones ripen and become brown in color as they mature. The cones can grow up to 3 to 6 inches long. Each scale on the mature cone contains 2 seeds. Seeds are light brown, triangular and have large wings. After 13 months, the cones become mature and the seeds are released. Seeds germinate and grow in the late spring after overwintering in the soil. It can take a tree up to 45 years to become able to bear seeds, and only 1 year out of 3 is considered a good seed year. Lastly comes its root system. Cedrus deodara has a deep and extensive taproot system which helps it withstand strong winds and drought conditions. They reach depths of about 7.6 meters and widths of up to 6 meters. Dear students, lastly, let us talk about the wood of Cedrus deodara and its uses. The deodar is an important source of lumber in many countries such as Afghanistan and India. Its wood can be used as fuel. Its heartwood is strong, durable and rot and pest resistant. It has a fine grain that polishes nicely. This wood is often used in carpentry and construction. The Egyptians used the cedar's wood to build sarcophaguses for their mummies. The Deodar has often been believed to be the tree of God. It has often been used to build the structures of temples or palaces. Deodar is an important structural timber tree. Its wood is highly valued and extensively used for building railway sleepers, carriage and railway wagon work and other purposes for which durability is required. It is used in house building, beams, floorboards, door and window frames, furniture and general carpentry. The wood is also good for constructing bridges, making railroad ties, producing plywood and even making pencils. It also produces quality plywood. The inner wood is aromatic and used to make incense. Inner wood is distilled into essential oil. As insects avoid this tree, the essential oil is used as insect repellent on feet of horses, cattle and camels. It also has antifungal properties and has some potential for control of fungal deterioration of spices during storage. The outer bark and stem are astringent. Because of its antifungal and insect repellent properties, rooms made of deodar cedar wood are used to store meat and food grains like oats and wheat in Shimla and Kullu districts of Himachal Pradesh. Cedar oil is often used for its aromatic properties, especially in aromatherapy. It has a characteristic woody odor which may change somewhat in the course of drying out. The crude oils are often yellowish or darker in color. Its applications include soap perfumes, household sprays, floor polishes and insecticides, and it is also used in microscope work as a clearing oil. Dear students, both pine and deodar cedar are incredibly valuable softwood species with diverse applications in construction, carpentry and beyond. Their unique morphologies and growth habits make them fascinating subjects of study and indispensable sources in various industries. As we marvel at the intricate details of these remarkable trees, let's appreciate the vital roles they play in our environment and industries. Their strength, versatility and beauty truly make them nature's masterpieces. So dear students, this was all I had for you today. See you some other day. Till then, take care and goodbye.